Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Was making some coffee this morning. Gonna go have a chat with buddy Mick. You might know him as 100 Tacos. Talk bike stuff, hang out, drink some coffee. So I'm making a batch. Got my thermos here. Got some mugs here. Gonna wrap them up in a bandana. Truth be told, I think I ground this a little too fine, but it'll taste good when we're out there, wherever we end up. Not even sure where we're going. Gonna follow Mick. He says he's got a good spot for us to hang out and chat, so I trust him. And once we're there, whatever coffee we have, it's gonna be the best coffee available. It's kind of the charm, right? So the grind size won't matter. Coffee is all about the process. Obviously a brewer would make things a lot easier, right? Take out the variables, etc. But making it a little bit more complicated is part of the fun. It's a learning process. Where did I go wrong? Where can I adjust? Makes you slow down. Although truth be told, I'm feeling a little rushed right now. Well, this is going slow, so we're gonna jump ahead in time. Rest in peace, Golden Saddle Cyclery. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. All right, let's go find Mick.
Oh. I totally couldn't remember if this went through. How's it going? Good. Oh, the Nobilette, nice. Good morning. Fast and bulbous, like Captain Beefheart said. So I got this here.
I'm just gonna put this on.
Oh, sure.
Don't disturb us.
Oh, yeah.
Love the group chat, but it's always like boop, 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 boop.
Oh, yeah. I'm in a few of those myself. There's some of them, it's just like, I gotta mute this stuff.
Yeah.
It's too much. Actually, I have to figure out how to mute it because I don't, and then it drives me insane.
If any of the group chat's watching, I'm not muting you though.
Rest in peace. Por vida? Well, I guess it's all bikes por vida.
GSC had, yeah, it had something special.
The kids call it the Riz these days.
The who?
The kids.
Oh, I know.
That's not me.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard a little Riz talk. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for being open to ride bikes. And is it all right?
I just wanted to try your coffee. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. This is Forge from local roaster Doug.
Oh, cool.
In LA.
Man.
Yeah, he's
That's great.
He was a graphics guy in the TV world.
Cool.
And then started roasting his own coffee on the side, and
Love that.
started his thing. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So I normally have a subscription between Forge and Trastero. Greg from Trastero.
Yep.
So yeah, this is the last of the bag that I have right now, but it's pretty good stuff.
What a treat. Thanks for sharing. This takes me back to LA River Camp coffee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Oh, you just reminded me of something. So I wanted to show you this because I was telling you that this rides with me everywhere. Mick. So
that's an oldie.
That's an oldie, yeah.
I mean, this is 10, maybe 12 years old.
I would say it's, let's see,
10.
so 10.
Yeah.
10, yeah, 9, 10 years old. Yeah.
That's a classic.
That's a classic, yeah. It's pretty wild that so we started that in 2014, and
special guest appearance.
Yeah, special guest doggo, and did it until about, I guess, into 20, when the pandemic really killed it, I think.
Yeah. Hey, pup.
Hey, bud.
Hey, cutie.
But I remember, coming into my bike at the end of the Camp Coffee one day and looking in my bag, and you had slipped this in there.
That's
and
true.
I just remember it blew me away, the generosity, and I just loved it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
It has never left my bike. It's always it's gone on every adventure that bike has gone on since that day. It's pretty awesome.
I'm flattered. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I was probably at the peak of me just like maybe creatively doing stuff, and so
Yeah.
I was drawing every day. I was making stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty early. I guess it's pretty early 100 tacos too. So I was just
I think it was right.
Yeah, making stuff all the time for that. But yeah, you know, I'm so glad that it's withstood the test of time, because I mean, I have stuff in my bag that's been in there for 6 months. It's faded to all hell.
For sure, and it sits in the map pocket, so
Right,
it gets hits with sun.
It's magnifying glass on.
Totally,
Yeah.
and to get back to our British Bake Off, it's a bit rough and ready in that bag at all times.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So
it's just got a nice curl. That's all.
It's just curled up a bit, but
it's baked to perfection.
But I've never. I guess I assume it's a sticker, but I've never wanted to stick it on anything because I just want to keep it in the bag at all times.
Dude,
you know.
I do the same when there's something I like to.
Yeah.
Like sticker wise.
I was too hesitant to waste it, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it is. I drew it with a whiteout pen on some adhesive vinyl that I dumpstered from my favorite sign shop. Rest in peace.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I did a clear vinyl on top of it in hopes to just kind of protect
okay,
it,
so
it
that
wouldn't just
it is.
scuff off. So
Well, it's worked like a charm.
yeah, I'm glad it worked out. You know, and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like as long as I've been drawing and doodling stuff, it's always like, to me, like, I always appreciate legible, just like, you know, kind of in your face stuff. And this
Sure.
is like, you know,
Sure.
not too curly styly. It's just like, bam, you know.
No, for sure. I love seeing like the strokes and the letter and stuff. Right.
Cool.
It's not like just came out of a computer and crisp and clean.
Yeah, not uniform. that's
Which
for
is
sure.
cool sometimes.
I think so.
But
yeah.
but this is awesome, and also because I just think it was just the coolest thing that it was just slipped in there without a word too. Like for me to discover, it was like an Easter egg that I got later, you know.
I'm glad it
which
worked
is
out
awesome.
that way.
No, it was perfect.
I think I remember drawing it just before, maybe it was on a Tuesday before coffee on Wednesday. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to give him a little something. Because, I mean, that was when it was booming, you know. You really
Yeah.
you did such a cool thing with it, and I feel like it brought people together.
Yeah.
And such, like, really breaks up the week, you know, something to do on a Wednesday that's, you know, starts it off right. And then I think everybody enjoyed the rest of the week.
I think so too. I definitely think that thing, for its moment in time, it was a perfect moment in that time, and it definitely shrunk LA for me, because there were so many people before that and now, because like the pandemic has changed the face of LA cycling. There's so many like new people on bikes, which is awesome. But because like I was locked in a house for so many years, like it's like a totally different cycling world now.
Yeah.
But at that time,
And we're older.
Yeah, totally.
Things are constantly changing.
Totally. But at that time, it felt like, oh, I've seen that person before. Now I know that person, right?
Yeah.
And that was like every week was like, oh, I've seen you before. Now I know you.
Yeah.
And and I think I think one of the nicest things that Kyle ever said about it, still sticks with me, is that he mentioned, like what you just said, that it was a community, more of a community than, because I had just
100%.
thought about it as like, oh, we're just going to drink coffee, but the fact that it
had no
became a
idea what was
community,
coming.
yeah, totally. But the
And-
fact that it became that was like, it still is a mind blow to me.
Well, let's
honestly.
be honest. Well, how many people were inspired by what you did and did something similar in their own city?
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, like I don't take credit for creating it. It was Rob at Ocean Air did that.
You were the first person to drink coffee outside, right? let's get that.
I was the
let's
first.
Get that on paper.
Wait, is this recording? I don't want anyone to know.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say first person in our city though. You know,
Oh,
which is,
yeah, for sure. I think it was the first one that took off, maybe, but definitely like it was
I
based on
understand.
other
Yeah.
things, and I definitely like not one to like stolen valor it, but
No, I mean, we also have, you know, I feel like we had the platform too, you know, I mean.
for sure,
you know,
it was all those things, right? It was like
Instagram early.
Instagram,
you know,
John was in
good
town,
photos, yeah.
Golden Saddle, like all those things.
Perfect storm.
Perfect storm of everything.
Same for a lot of things at that
Totally.
time too, you know.
Mhm.
It's, you
Totally.
know, I know people always ask like, oh, how was like, you know,
Oh,
people coming.
Mudfoot, like all those, like
Sure.
there's like moments of like these like little explosions of radness, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's, I think, really unique to where we live just because of the geography and the people, you know?
Totally.
And
totally.
people think, you know, people always sort of like think of Los Angeles as such like not a cycling city until they come here. They're like, wait, this is actually like the best.
I think that's true, and I think that sometimes I've been guilty of thinking like, oh, I got to go ride my bike elsewhere, because of, I don't know, wanderlust, whatever.
Sure.
The grass is always greener, and honestly, like there's so many people that come to LA, and I'm born and raised here, and there's so many people that come to LA that have such a different appreciation of LA that looking at it through their eyes is often like my favorite way to see LA, because it's easy to just think like, oh, I'm just going to that thing that I've gone to 100 times in my life, right?
Sure.
And not knowing that, like, I mean, look at this. Like, I have never been here.
There you go.
I'm going to be 51 in a week. I've never been here in my life. That's wild. But Omar brought you, you brought me. Like, there's something about seeing LA differently through transplants, maybe, right?
Sure.
But also not even just transplants, because I'll show this to someone else, right? And we'll share it and stuff, which is awesome.
I mean, I agree. I think beyond that too, it's just I don't know, in a lot of ways it's like the privilege of being taken somewhere by somebody, you know, which like again, that was Omar for me, where
sharing.
It's like, yeah, he shared a special place to him, and
totally
he thought of me when he took me here, like, I think you would dig this, and I thought of you when I took you here.
Yeah, I mean, Montecito, the flat top up there, that's Dave. 100% is Dave. I used to go up and over that hill on my commute,
because he lived
at the top of that hill.
Yeah.
And so he would be the only person also going up that hill. And our schedules rarely lined up that we would see each other up there. I'd see him walking sometimes.
David Lane.
But yeah, the goat.
The legend.
But one time, and it was right before he was leaving, he was like, hey, have you ever been to that thing? I was like, what are you talking about? I thought that was off limits. Because I would always go around that turn, right? That sharp turn there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a gate. It doesn't look...
Yeah, it's not welcoming.
Right, it's not obvious.
And now I know that there's a sign that says it's a park, but it doesn't look like a park, really.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yeah, he took me over there, and I was like, what?
Dude, LA
Wild.
Got secrets.
It's total secrets. And literally, like, around the corner. And all these other dirt paths that you can connect through there, like...
I mean, how many dozens, maybe hundreds of times have you ridden past the little turnoff for this? You know?
Oh, same.
Same
thing.
It's like around the corner.
Same. This is the exact same scenario as that turn up there, right?
Very cool.
Because you just blast past it, and you might see a person go there. It's like, well, that's not for me, or I don't know what's down there, but yeah, here
and I mean,
this is.
Well, that's the thing is, like, a lot of times you think, like, oh, I'm going to be on the bike, I get to stop and see all this stuff, but, you know, halfway through a steep, kind of unpleasant climb, it's
for
like,
sure.
I'm focused on getting to the stop, which is...
Well, and that's a big part of it, right?
Far.
Is the focus is, like, farther up the hill, and this is just you don't want to stop there.
Yeah.
Because you're so close.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you could have stopped here, and, like, this is totally fine.
Yeah.
And there's no one, like, posing... doing yoga.
Not yet. Wait till I get my camera out.
Not yet.
We'll both be on the table.
Exactly. No one's doing any dumb YouTube videos up there. Nobody. I nailed it.
At all.
Totally. Yeah, no, that's definitely like, welcome to LA.
2 cameras? Okay, guys.
What? Mic'd up? What the? This thing on?
But
I'm gonna need you to sign an NDA before we leave, by the way.
It's not my first interview on YouTube. Actually. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about, like, the 100 tacos thing. Like, I know obviously about the taco cart and stuff, but now there's like stems and hats, and aren't there other things? I mean, I have 2 of your beanies myself, so.
Thank you for the support, as always. And
they get worn daily on the regs.
Awesome. I mean, that goes back to just like making good stuff, you know? It's like, I don't want to make some crummy shirt that's just like, oh, this is gonna make a great rag in 6 months, you know? Like, I want to make things that people will enjoy and have for a long time, because that's how I feel about stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, to be completely honest, I think 100 Tacos was always just a way to express myself, you know? And it started with the thing that I was most recently doing at that time 13 years ago, which was cooking. You know, I worked in a restaurant, had worked in restaurants years past, and I mean, serving food to people is a love language for me. And I love to cook for people in any way, and it sort of just paired perfectly with me going to bike events and races that my friends were doing, and there never really being anything to eat. So,
Right.
you know, I think it was even before.
Because it was all vegan based too, so
Yeah.
it was a better option for people. People.
Just good for everybody. You know, and it's really like, you know, easy to digest. It's like fuel for riding your bike, really.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
And that's like, you know, again, it wasn't calculated. It's just a natural thing that happened. And I grew up in Texas, Dallas specifically, and my friend Omar lived there before he moved back out here. And he and our friend Mario and I, you know, we'd sit around and just, you know, we'd like doodle and make ideas and jokes and just stuff.
Yeah.
And we drew basically like a cart that would serve food off of a bike.
Oh, cool.
And then, and that was always kind of still like, you know, it was just a fun idea with friends, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was always kind of in my head. And a couple years later, after living out here for 2 years, I guess, I was like, you know, I've been talking to my girlfriend at the time, now wife, Roxy, about I want to do this thing, surf food off my bike. She's like, yeah, do it. You know, very like, very motivating. And I think she finally just gave me the kick in the ass, like, yeah, just stop talking about it. You should just do it. And you know how it is when you think like, oh, it's got to be like, you got to do all this stuff, and it's like, no, you really don't. Like, you know, when it comes to an idea, just start with the simplest way you can do something. See if it makes sense, you know. And that was milk crate on the rear rack on an old Miata touring bike with two hot bags, and I just made everything at home and just brought it to a race.
Oh, so you didn't even cook it there? It was all prepped and ready to go.
Totally, you know. And,
that's cool.
And again, just in the simplest form possible, where it's like, okay, if I want to do this other way, it's going to be hard and difficult, and this is like the simplest way.
Yeah.
You know, just to like dip your toes in, you know. It's like before you go buy a, you know, whatever expensive stuff, just use what you have. You know? And that's always been my homespun sort of ethos with everything. You know? I mean, again, like stickers from scraps. It's like, to be honest, and me getting a sticker printed by somebody else and paying money for it was a huge leap, you know, and that was years after that. So just because I was so sort of, you know, committed to the DIY ethos of everything, you know, and that's roots, I guess. But you know.
But the process of it is the excuse me, I feel like the process is part of the reward of it, right?
Absolutely, you know, and I mean, people always make very unique stuff when you have limited resources. It's just, you know, you use what you have and what's available.
Well, and it's awesome. This is a one-off as an example, right? Like there's no one else has that thing.
That's it, which is like
awesome.
So flattering that you kept it all these years.
Yeah.
Because I make stuff for people and I don't expect to ever see it again, which is totally fine. Like I have a lot of stuff that just goes in a drawer, goes in a book.
Yeah.
You know, and
I mean, I'm guilty of that too. Like things that I've acquired over the years.
Sure, people make great patches.
They get lost. Totally, they get
shirts.
lost.
Yeah. And I'm glad they all do. And if anyone's ever given me anything, it's not in vain. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
It always is like close to the heart.
Yeah.
But I guess to answer your question about merch and all that stuff, is it grew pretty organically. You know, before I was cooking, really. I guess I worked at a restaurant at that time too. I would screen print shirts with a friend for his band. You know, we would sneak into the art building at University of North Texas on a Sunday morning when everybody else was hungover. We would just use our own stuff there, but like use their light table and stuff.
Oh,
and,
cool.
You know, leave no trace.
Cool.
But use the space, you know. And, it was great because I really, you know, I loved the kind of like the repetitive nature of that process, and you know, pulling ink through screens I think it's super fun, and it's such a timeless effort, you know. I mean, a good T-shirt done right is gonna be around for a long time. So,
for sure.
You know, if you use the right methods and the right materials. So that part kind of came next. I had my friend Steiner, who does illustration and graphics and paints murals. We knew each other from. We were in San Francisco at the same time, even though neither of us lived there at that point. But we, you know, instantly clicked, became friends. A few years later, he moved out here. He was living in New York at the time, and then moved to Los Angeles. And we were just kind of accidentally neighbors almost. And
cool.
He was. It was right about the time that I quit my job to do Hunter Tacos full time, and he was you know, freelance everything for, like, you know, making a scraping by a living as an artist.
Yeah.
And he had a small, you know, scrap wood made screen press in his garage, and so we'd work together. He'd help me with stuff for my thing. I'd help him with stuff for his thing.
Cool.
Such a like amazing time too. I really appreciate that time.
Yeah.
A lot. And so he'd motivate me, be like, hey, let me doodle you something. So he drew the 100 Tacos logo, I guess you'd say,
cool.
in 2 minutes on a transparency.
Yeah.
And then
wow.
he's like, oh, let's you want to make this soy rizo kit where people can make 100 tacos at home? Cool. I'll print you some. We'll print bags, and let's make some shirts too. It's like we made one screen that had all 3 graphics on it, and it was just nice having something physical to hand off to people.
Mm-hmm.
And people out of town that wanted something. It's like, I can drop this in the mail, and you can.
For sure.
Until you try the food, then you can have something in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of started with that, and then,
is that logo that he drew out quickly? Is that the same logo today?
Same as always, yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That's the one, it's got the kind of like lightning bolt underline.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like his letter style. He's
cool.
whiz with those. My friend Tim Willis up in Seattle did the salsa style.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those are probably the 2
That's right. So
most
two
commonly
style.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you about that next.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started with just couple of things here and there, and then I did a big trip with a couple of friends where we did a bus and bike trip from Austin, sort of like through the south and up the East Coast up to New York.
Oh, cool.
And while we were in Virginia, in Richmond, we were staying at I went with 2 friends, Pete and Johnny. When we were at Pete has a friend, 2 friends, Graham and Anna. They're in Richmond. We were staying in their basement for about a week, just riding around Richmond, just having a good time. It's great.
Yeah.
Graham he's a big fan of old salsa stems, as I am too, and we were in his basement just kind of looking at his parts bin and stuff, and I think he had a stem without logos, because stickers come off over time, and those two, the salsa stickers are very like, they are screen printed ink on vinyl. And anytime I've tried to, the one time I tried to like abrasively clean one, the ink comes off, so you got to be careful, which is why I think a lot of them are unbranded. So we're kind of just same as back in Dallas. We were just sort of joking like, oh, we should make one that says tacos. And then I asked him, I was like, could you whip this up? And he's like, yeah. A couple of days he did that too, which was cool. And it was just funny because it was like, I didn't mean for it to be like, it's kind of a phenomenon almost, like people from around the world buy them and send me photos and stuff, which is so cool, which is so nice. I just wanted one for me and my friends, and, and the real reason I wanted it too is to print on the back just contact info, because people come get food from me at the cart, and they'd be like, oh, do you have a card? I'm like, no,
that's a good idea.
Got an Instagram, it's at 100 tacos. And so, we made the, full color sticker. That was like, I made like some black and white stickers from Sticker Guy, which is my favorite for, classic.
Like an online vendor kind of thing.
Yeah. They're like, they're punks. They do like just good, solid work that lasts forever. They, UV treated, so it's, longevity is an important thing to me. As you probably Anyway, so that was the first one. Then we got, a 6-color vinyl decal, that's a lot of money, but we're doing this, so got a bunch of those, and it was a hit, which is cool.
That's cool.
And then a lot of it too kind of just helped with a lot of it was sort of hand in hand with working at Golden Saddle, because once we got back from that trip, Kyle was going to be going out of town. Jaime was sort of running things in the front mostly, and he was like, I need someone to work. Are you available? I was like, yeah, cool.
Oh, okay.
And I'd already been a bench warmer there. Spending lots of time. Not lots of money. But a lot of time there. And
that was a good hangout spot for sure.
Lucille Beach.
Yeah.
A time and a place.
Yeah. It was like a quarter into my ride home, my old work commute. So half the time was like, I just left work. Like, I don't want to stop early. Mm-hmm. Also because like, if I stop there, I'll be there for an hour, no problem.
It's a time warp.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop in for 5 minutes. That's
sure.
Never happened.
It's never happened in the history of going there.
Yeah, never. Yeah. Nobody.
I don't think it's happened at any bike shop for me, actually, to be honest.
Same.
I think it's like a common bike shop thing.
If you go into a place and you feel welcome and it's the feeling is right, you're
for sure.
Want to spend some time.
For sure.
But I think just being there, and that was I was working there kind of right around the beginning of SimWorks.
Okay.
Them starting as a company, and so they came. Kyle was like, hey, you should hire Mick to cater the party.
Oh, yeah, I remember
It was
that,
their
yeah.
first pop-up in America, showing off their parts and letting people really like hold them and handle them.
Yeah.
You know, some really cool Nitto-made handlebars,
Yep.
racks,
Yep.
tires, you know.
Super cool stuff.
Yeah, it was great, and so we became friends instantly from that.
Also, just like your logo, like some of the best branding too.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know, like all of the stuff is just so cool. Like one of the ones that's a favorite, which I didn't even realize it was yours for a long time, was the beanie one. It's just like I mean, it looks like an old Patagonia logo or something. That's what it makes me think. Or maybe it's an REI logo tribute. But
I did pull it from this long defunct brand from Seattle, and I mean that's sort of, you know, I sample, you know.
Yeah.
That's like,
well, I have a great picture of you wearing, I think, a vintage REI jacket at LA River Camp Coffee.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I got it in Portland at Next Adventure.
Okay.
Bargain Basement.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Deke's Bargain Basement. It's funny. I picked that up when I was with my buddies, Omar, Ace, Dallas, Mario. We took the train up to Portland to do a tour down the coast.
Oh, is that the one that you guys made the postcard of?
Yeah. Omar,
That
photo.
lived on my fridge for years.
Man,
for years.
That was a good time.
I mean, I might still have it somewhere in my house. I'm not sure.
Cool.
When we got rid of our fridge during the pandemic, that was like we had all these magnets and you know, memories and stuff, and it finally came down at that point.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, it was there for years, and I remember always looking at it and thinking like, man, these guys are cool. I want to ride bikes with them.
Man, it was Omar's just got such a good eye, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's so cool. Like he and Ace both just like, you know, bringing
Yeah.
you know, full camera rigs on a
Yeah,
tour.
yeah.
So Ansel Adams, like nobody really does that anymore.
For sure.
Omar had a tripod, I think, which is
so
man,
awesome. Yeah. That's
but
dedication.
Yeah, and I you know, I love that about my people, you know. They're so devoted to their craft.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, the reason that photo on your fridge was so like why it hit so good is because
well, it had so much feeling to it.
Yeah.
I think it was. I mean, if I remember right, it's like a foggy. Like I always think of it as like a foggy morning in Big Sur is what it made me think. I don't know where it was shot, but that's kind of what it evoked to me, you know.
As I recall,
I wish I could find it somewhere.
I might have a little stack still.
Oh, cool, yeah.
I think if I recall, I think it's in Humboldt County, maybe like Watsonville area.
Okay.
Because Omar had spent some time up there, and we stayed. One of those nights we stayed at somebody's house.
Okay.
And I think it was, it was a friend of his.
That's cool.
So I think we were like riding kind of inland from the coast there, and it was real foggy.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like for sure.
Yeah.
You want some more? You need to top off there?
I've been talking. I got plenty.
You sure?
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
I'll kill it.
Yeah.
Just a little left.
Can I offer you a pastry?
Oh, yeah.
Will it be too noisy to eat while we're communicating?
I doubt it. I mean, this isn't some professional situation. Whoa, look at these things. Where are these from?
Delicias.
Oh, is that where
my favorite.
Is that the same place that the pizza place was operating out of a while?
Yes, Doughbox was in there.
They have some amazing pan dulce there.
I'm such a fan.
Yeah.
They're
cool.
the best. Such nice people.
Grab one of these?
Yeah, please. They always do some vegan options too, which these are, and they're just they're the best. It's, you know, traditional style, all the classics, and I think maybe their daughter is vegan, so they do like a few options.
I remember seeing that they had a lot of vegan options in there. Sorry, that's not the pastry. I don't know about you, but I feel like as I get older, I get more like post-ride, like it's almost like an asthma or right now it's like in my throat, but like I get it in my chest a lot.
Dude, I had a bad the other day. I brought lunch to Roxy, and I was over on the Eagle Rock side, so I kind of came up and over, and I was came up and down, picked up lunch, and got to her work, and then we were sitting on the stairs, and I was just coughing the entire time.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Are you good?"
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm not okay.
It's yeah.
I'm dying.
I think I have a inhaler that I got a few years ago that I'm supposed to carry, but you know, I'm an idiot, so I always forget. I always forget to carry it. Oh, there's filling in there. I just came across it.
Guava today. I just got a big bite of it too. Man, they're the best. They've been there since 1991, I believe. And I would love to see them stay for the long haul, you know?
Wow, that's really good. Thanks a lot.
Of course.
For this. This was definitely a treat. Sabrina and I stumbled upon it. I don't remember why we were there. We were just walking on that block, and I just saw that they had pan dulce there, so we popped in there. And I think they had just opened or something, so we kind of had our pick of like what they had, and it was all really good.
Nice.
And I remember thinking, this is right by Mick's house. I gotta come over and visit him more.
Anytime, yeah. Bang on my door.
And then I was also thinking like, well, where would I leave my bike? I guess you could probably roll it in there. It's pretty big, right?
It's pretty big, yeah. I did lock up. There's a pole right by the bus stop outside, but I think they'd be cool with it.
But I remember Doughbox at the time was serving out of there in the afternoon, I guess, because they had a sign saying, you can come pick it up there. And Doughbox used to be, Doughbox was close to us. It was over on El Sereno, on Eastern,
Eastern, yeah.
Now it's a new coffee shop, Little East. Have you been there yet?
I have not. That street's
Pretty good.
so tricky to ride a bike on,
Oh,
but
it sucks,
I don't make it over there too often.
I used to commute on that street all the time. Hectic, and thought there were a few times where I was riding that I was like, this is my last time riding the street because I'm gonna get it from behind, yeah, so bad. And I started like finding other ways around there, and
for you.
Not for you. This one's for me.
I mean, it's hard because that street is such a, it's in a canyon basically, and there's not really.
It's just not wide enough.
Yeah, the way around it is a long way away.
Exactly. Yeah. Going to that coffee shop in the morning isn't bad because it's low traffic in the morning, but the location is rough for a cyclist for sure. It's kind of wild. There's like 4 or 5 like coffee shops in that area now, right there in El Sereno. A new one just opened up last week. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
There's one at the bike shop, Cycle in Motion, Cafe Waiua. They have a coffee shop attached to them now.
Okay, that's cool.
And then this guy, Henry, does No Days Off coffee out of his house, off of Harriman, which is pretty cool.
That's great.
Yeah, that place is super cool. We should go check that out sometime. It's like a real, like, you have to know where it is to find it. It's like a hidden gem, and he does some real... Oh, he uses... What does he use? I think he uses Onyx coffee, which is really good coffee from back east somewhere.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird spot because Alhambra's kind of a weird like coffee desert in a way.
I know what you mean.
There's not a lot of coffee there. South Pass has some. El Sereno now has some. Highland Park has, you could argue, too many.
Yeah. Alhambra's a little dry.
But Alhambra's dry.
Dry county.
Yeah, that's why I brew at home,
Yeah. I mean, you make a fine cup.
Oh, this came out all right.
What's your system like for brewing at home?
This I made on just a V60 pour over. I have an espresso machine too. I sold a bike many years ago to fund my espresso habit, so.
Love it.
Joshua has helped a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because he's a pro. And
He is a pro.
he told me, like, when I got it, I was thinking about it. He was like, "Don't do it. It's just not worth the hassle." And I was like, "Nah, I got it. I'll figure it out." Man, he was right.
Yeah.
100%, he was right.
I mean, sometimes.
And
you
I
gotta
tell him
touch
all
the
the time,
stove
like,
to
you
know
were
it's
right.
hot.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's part of the experience, though.
It is.
And I'm sure you bought something that you could sell.
I bought something that was that, but I also bought something that was serviceable.
Yeah.
To future-proof it. So,
Kind of like these old-time bikes, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of future.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about your Nobilette there.
Sure.
So, how long have you had that thing now?
With
a
bikes,
year or so.
I've owned it for probably 3 years.
Oh.
And in classic me style, it takes me time to figure out the puzzle of how to build it. And I know everybody wants to build things the right way the first time, and I'm guilty of that to a fault, where I just stare at it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I try to build stuff with stuff I have or with stuff friends have. I mean, I couldn't build a bike without friends, you know. It's just not possible. Shout out Robin for the wheels and the stem.
Did you get that as a frame fork or as a roller?
Frame fork.
Okay.
It was. I went to so my friends and I go to the San Diego Velodrome swap every year, twice a year. It's become a ritual of ours, which I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's become less and less about, you know, we don't go to make money. We don't go to like find.
I only know about
deals.
that event through you.
I mean,
through watching you guys go. I mean, I've never been, but it looks fun.
I mean, it's a real life history lesson, you know, and I'm sure you've been to some kind of swap at some point, and I mean, they're just you learn about something, you know, and I'm so curious when it comes to bikes and region specific bikes, especially too, where I've been to swaps in other cities where it's like, oh yeah, you see stuff that's only going to be in this area, you know, and same with Southern California too. I mean, you're seeing less and less of like old stuff just because it's all sort of like all the garages have been cleared out and all the bike shops that closed in 1999 are devoid of all old stuff.
Yeah.
But this was on a table. You know, a guy had it for sale, and I know what Nobilette is mostly because of Rivendell. He builds most of the custom bikes that say Rivendell on the down tube are built by him. Or a few other folks too. But that's really where I know him from. And I know he builds the randonneurs custom bikes too.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I wonder if he built the bike that Bruce has then, because Bruce has like a one-off Rene Hurst bike from, I don't know, 10 years ago when they were going to do, I think it was called like the Federal or...
Okay, probably Nobilette built.
It might be a Nobilette.
I mean, he's based out of Colorado, and he's been building. He's probably one of the consecutive longest running builders in existence right now.
Is that the same builder that did the Boulder? Or is that different?
I think that's somebody else.
I think I get those two confused all the time. I think that was Cone, Mike Cone, maybe.
I'm not too
I
familiar.
think there's two. They seem similar but different.
Totally.
Yeah.
I really just know Matt Maceda has that Boulder. That's kind of the only one I see.
Right. I forgot if it was Matt or Robin had one.
Matt has one. It's blue and it's like a it's a great looking bike.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's funny because it's a 700C, like I think it's like 2001 road bike.
Yep.
Only clears a 28, but it had like mid fork mount and rear rack mount, 1-inch threadless, which is fine. It's like kind of whatever, but it seemed like it made enough sense for me, and so I kind of threw wheels on from Robin to see if a 650B fit, and even these tires, it's like an old Compass branded tire that was worn when Robin handed it to me. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just put them on to test fit, and then I've been riding it hard for a year, so you know, you can see the whiskers kind of.
Those tires work great until they don't, was my opinion. They always, like, they would get to a point where they would just start sticking, like everything of the city sticks to it.
Yeah.
And then I would just get flat after flat after flat after flat. But it took a long time to get to that point, but there was definitely a point where like, okay, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I built this bike just to have a more comfortable road bike, you know.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't really, you know, you and Victor are my randonneur inspirations for sure, you know, and I would love to do something of that difficulty, but it's really, for me, it's more just like, you know, comfortable road bike, light touring bike, really.
It's a great city bike, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, everything that we have, all the chunky stuff that we ride, it's great to have. It's great to have a little bit bigger tire, and luckily 650B wheel set on there just kind of worked perfectly with a long reach brake.
Yep.
And I think it's really all the road bike I need, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, I have that Gilmore old road bike that clears at 25, and it's cool. Like I've ridden it on a Century, almost 2 in the last year, and it's fine. Like, it's good for that. I felt good after that, but I think this is probably the better bet. And just to carry stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Victor gave me his old Swift bag.
Okay.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
And I mean, I use it for commuting mostly.
Yeah.
You know, carries my lunch in a sweater, and
that's like the perfect size bag, anyways.
I think so too.
You don't have to overload it. Like mine's the opposite. It's too big.
Great for certain stuff though. You know?
It is great for a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but and it's the only one I have, so it's fine. It's the perfect bag in that regard. But
Yeah. No,
but it is easy to overstuff because
you got the space.
you got the space and you'll fill it, right?
Classic.
And that one, I had one of those size that I sold my my Pelican,
Mm-hmm.
and when I sold the Pelican, I sent it off with it too.
Cool.
And I miss it because those bags aren't being made anymore either, right?
Yeah.
It's from the past now.
Yeah.
Well, the Swift version of it, at least, because mine is the Docina from technically Ocean Air, but it was a Swift product as
Right.
well.
Right. I remember
The
those.
same place. It's just a shame.
I remember the Harlequin ones especially, just because they were so bold.
Oh yeah,
Color-wise.
yeah.
Such a cool thing. Do you know how many of those they made?
I don't. I have no idea.
I feel like you
no.
hardly ever see them, but it's just
Yeah.
it's always cool when there's a piece of cycling that's just like, you know, stands out. You know
I-
exactly what it is.
I don't remember why I bought a second one because I have two.
Cool.
You know, I have one that's never been on a bike.
One to rock, one to stock.
yeah, and it's a V2 version of it, so it's a
Okay.
little bit different.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the 3D pockets on the back,
Mhm.
and it just has the Moly webbing, so you can put whatever you want, which is pretty cool actually, right?
I think so,
Because
too.
you can put a camera pocket, or which is like the 3D, but you could also put like a thing for a water bottle if you
Mhm.
have a room. And I can't remember why I bought it, but I'm kind of glad I have it, and it's just sitting there for a future project. I'm sure I had something in mind, and I also didn't think that they were gonna go away.
Right.
So
You never do. I mean, but that's the beauty of this type of cycling is I think there's a lot of longevity for us with it. You know,
Oh,
it's,
for
it's
sure.
the type of riding you can do
yeah,
for many, many years. You
Yeah,
know? And
absolutely.
I think a lot of styles of riding, it's not sustainable. You know. And I
yeah,
mean,
I think that's true. I mean, I'm on my rando bike. Your bike is very similar. So, and we both are sitting around on rando rigs, front
Mhm.
bags, riding around. And I have my full carbon bike too, which is a lot of fun to ride. Don't get me wrong.
Of course,
it's like,
yeah. I
it's
appreciate
like a
them all.
time and a place
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that bike is gonna be. That's not a forever bike either, because it just, it's cool. It's fun. But the bike that I choose first is something like this. Aesthetically, I like to look at it when it's parked. Like I mean, like you guys can't see it, but I'm looking at his bike right now, and it's awesome to
Come
have it
on.
in the background.
I mean, 80% of bikes is feeling. You know?
Totally.
And a lot of it comes
100%.
down to looks and do I want to
100%.
ride this thing? So
Totally.
and that's what I work at LA just a couple days a week, but I talk to people all the time who don't know a thing about bikes.
yeah,
And I mean, I level with them and I just say like, does this make you feel some type
yeah.
of way?
Does it
like,
do anything
yeah,
to you? Totally,
Even the paint job, even the tires, you know.
Totally.
And that's the difference between wanting to ride the bike or not. You know?
totally. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people do want just, what's the cheapest this? And like, you probably don't want that. It's not going to stimulate you.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
It's worth saving up and getting something that gets you excited and makes you want to ride it. Because
Yeah,
riding a
it's-
bike is work.
For sure,
know,
yeah.
it's
More
not
than we
easy.
care to admit sometimes, right?
Totally.
I mean, as I've been, it's like a funny aside is that as I've been making these videos and
Mm-hmm.
recording and stuff, the thing that I hear on my videos is like, like, goddamn, that dude's out of shape. Whoever's making
working.
these
He's
videos.
working.
but
Yeah.
but it's all part of the reward
Exactly.
of it too.
Not to say work isn't enjoyable.
No. It's always enjoyable. Getting at the top of those hills, climbing up here is enjoyable.
Yeah.
But the grunt is part of it for sure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's, you can't have it one without the other, unfortunately. You know?
Exactly.
I love how you have it set up there with it's like the rear is on the bar end. The rear derailleur is the bar end, or is it the other way around? Yeah, that's the way it is, right?
Yeah, the one that I'll be using most is on the bar end. I don't
Yeah.
really shift into the small ring.
Oh, right, because your gearing is so. It's kind of a jump there.
It's a jump, and I mean
Yeah.
it makes the jump just fine. But
Right.
it's a 40.
Yeah.
It's 40 or 42, and then like a small ring like 26.
Sure.
I think. Again, this is what I had in the parts bin.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
threw some stuff on.
Yeah, but it makes sense because it's such a low gear that riding through the city, you're not going to have to pop into such a low gear on that inner ring as often as I would. Like, because mine
True.
is what do you call it? A subcompact, I guess.
Yeah.
It's 48, 34. So I use the inner ring all the time.
Yes.
Just because, it just makes more sense, right?
Right.
The
I mean,
step.
and your inner ring is not that far from my outer ring.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
Truth be told, it's geared a little bit low, but I also
Yeah.
geared it with loaded touring in mind. So
For sure. For
again,
sure.
it's not like a high performance.
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It's,
But
you know,
it's the gearing. It
yeah.
reflects the kind of riding you want to do with it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And where we live.
Totally. Well, there you have it. Another great day riding around LA with Mick. We're making our way through Glassell Park. We ran into Matt, fellow cyclist, his new dog, and then ran into Dean, another fellow cyclist on his Appaloosa. Fortunately, my battery was running low, so I didn't record any of that. Note to self, carry a spare battery. I was afraid of that. You all right?
I'm fine. I think I lost a chunk of tape. Surely this one I got, right?
Maybe leave it in the comments if you want a bike check of Dean's Riv. He's got a beautiful Appaloosa. Really nice bag. Nice and weathered on it. It was really pretty to look at. Some nice bars. Couldn't help but check it out and stare at it. Don't tell him. We'll see if he catches this hump. You're next, Dean. Always a lot of traffic on this hill. You hear it whirring by. It's one of those last hills before home. Why do they always suck? Always. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Support good people doing cool shit like Mick. Be nice and say hi when you're on the bike. It's literally the least you can do. There's already enough dicks out there. Let's try to be nice to people while we're pedaling. Bonus points if you do it while you're in a car. Anyways, get off my rant. Now that the road opened up, there's more room to breathe. Feel less crowded. Feels more safe. All that. All right, catch you on the next one. Hasta luego. Cops with Teslas. What's next? Oh, this is Tesla and Tesla crime. Figures.